Do you want to find out how to make this gooey brisket baked grilled cheese sandwich? Stay tuned and I'll show you how. Hey everybody, I'm here in the test kitchen at Certified Angus Beef, and I'm going to show you a little different way to cook some brisket. A lot of times you think brisket, barbecue, you love the flavor, but maybe you don't have a smoker or you just don't have the time. What else can you do with it? Well, I'll show you a way to use the Instant Pot to make an Instant Pot grilled cheese sandwich so that you'll use this brisket, pressure cook it, shred it to fill out that grilled cheese and really make it a meal.
We'll start with peeling and slicing a red onion. I like red onion because the flavor has a bite to it and they give off a deep maroon color. When we cut these into slices, there's no need to cut them super thin since they'll be pressure cooked and therefore become extremely tender no matter what. Mince up a couple of fresh cloves of garlic, as well as some chipotles and adobo. I like to leave the seeds in the chipotles for the heat, but you can remove them if you want to bring down the spice level. Cut the brisket into 2-inch cubes. This will help it cook quickly since there's more surface area exposed during the pressure cooking. Season generously with some kosher salt and fresh cracked pepper. Make sure to move the cubes around so that you get an even season on all sides. Turn the Instant Pot to the Saute setting and set to more and preheat in order to sear the beef. Then add a little oil. Make sure the Instant Pot is good and hot before adding your beef. You're gonna wanna get a good sear on this beef on at least 2 sides to help develop flavor and create a good fond in the pan. Make sure to work in batches. Adding too much beef all at once will cool down the cooking surface and you won't get a good sear. This step is crucial in developing a rich flavor in those cubes of brisket. Once the beef has a really nice sear, reserve to a clean sheet pan or plate. Add the onion, garlic, and chipotle to the pan and begin to scrape up the brown bits from the bottom. The onion will help to pick up the fond and begin to release its juices. Now in with some brown sugar, tomato paste, and beef broth. This will create a nice sauce to cook the brisket in, and it's similar to a makeshift barbecue sauce, but it's much thinner and less likely to burn to the pan. Return the beef and any of its juices back to the Instant Pot. Securely fasten the lid and it's time to get cooking. Pressure cook this on high for 1 hour, then naturally depressurize for about 20 minutes.
While I allow this to depressurize, I'm gonna move on to building the sandwich.
I'm using a nice sourdough boule that I'm gonna hand slice. You can use pre-sliced bread, but you'll wanna make sure the slices are relatively thick in order to hold up to this hearty sandwich. We'll butter and toast the bread in a preheated oven to get a nice crisp on what will be the outside of the sandwich. Make sure to cover the bread generously with butter. This isn't the time to hold back. Once the bread has become a nice, crisp golden brown, flip the toast because that's going to be the exterior of the sandwich. We'll construct this by using 2 slices of white American on 4 of the toast slices and 2 slices of pepper jack on each of the other 4 slices. Both of these cheeses melt exceptionally well and the pepper jack adds a little more heat to the sandwich. Once the Instant Pot is depressurized, use 2 forks to shred the brisket, making sure to coat it with all that cooking liquid. That sauce has so much flavor in it and will help to keep the beef juicy when it goes back into the oven. Top 4 of the toast slices with the shredded brisket. The American cheese will create a barrier between the brisket and the bread. Now finish with the other cheesy toast slices. We'll get this into our preheated 450-degree oven to melt the cheese. We let this bake for about 5 minutes, then we'll give them a quick flip and back in the oven for another 5 minutes to finish melting the cheese and make sure that toast is nice and crispy. Look how gooey but still crispy these sandwiches are. You might want to cut them in half to be able to tackle this big of a sandwich. Look at that. It's a grilled cheese packed full of delicious shredded beef brisket.
Thanks for watching and joining me here in the test kitchen at Certified Angus Beef. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.